do you grow a Facebook group full of raving fans that want to buy from you? That's what we are going to talk about today. My name is Ryan Dowdy and I'm a sales coach. I help brand new entrepreneurs build the foundation of their six-figure business by mastering their sales conversations and their mindset. And today I want to talk about Facebook groups. If you haven't noticed, Facebook groups are blowing up. Facebook is actually running ads to promote their groups. And they are some of the most powerful tools that you will find in business, both other people's Facebook groups and your own Facebook group. But I get this question a lot inside of my community, so I wanted to take some time and talk to you about that here. How do you create a Facebook group full of raving fans? So first of all, how do we set it up? How do we get people into it? And then how do we get them to buy from us, right? So the first thing I want you to think about when it comes to your Facebook group is to actually not overthink it. I see a lot of people who are like, well, it's got to be perfect and it's got to be the exact right name and the exact right thing. And I have to know exactly what I'm doing. And to be honest with you, when I first started my Facebook group, which now has about 4,500 people in it in about a year and a half, I didn't really give it a lot of thought. I just knew that it was something I wanted to do. I wanted to build a community that I could serve. So that's the first thing, is just decide that you are going to grow a Facebook group, decide on the name and just run with it. Don't go with a lot of drama. Do I have the time? Do I not? Go with it. If you were thinking about it, if you are watching this, it is because you have thought about it. Do it. It will pay you tenfold. Okay. So just decide. But that's the second part of this, is knowing that a Facebook group is something that needs to be managed. It is a time commitment. You are building a community, in which case you are establishing yourself as the leader of that community. And how do leaders establish themselves as leaders? They do that by showing up and by serving. A Facebook group is the most fantastic way to show that you are a leader and that you are a servant leader, that you are there to serve and to grow and to help and to educate people. And it's the most powerful way to do that, but it is commitment. So if you're not all in on your Facebook group, I might actually suggest that you wait, because you want to be all in. You want to show up, because that is how we build trust, right? Consistency is how we build trust. So if you start a group, put some people in it, show up for them, back off, show up for them, back off, people are going to start to think that maybe you don't know exactly what you're doing, or maybe you're not the leader that they want to follow. So I want you to know that to build a Facebook group full of raving fans, you have to be committed to it, because you want to use this to establish yourself as a leader, and you have to be consistent in that leadership and in building trust. So how do we grow a Facebook group? How do we get people into a Facebook group? For me, I like to think of a Facebook group just like you would think of promoting anything else, really. You want it to be something you talk about everywhere. You want it to be in your email signature. You want it to be in your Facebook banner, on your Facebook business page, on your personal page. You want it to be in your profile on Facebook. If you use LinkedIn, you want it to be over there. If you use Instagram, you want it to be over there. It needs to be the place that you funnel all of your people, and you need to market it in that way. So promo threads and Facebook groups, promote your Facebook group, right? Instagram stories, promote your Facebook group, your feed on Instagram, your feed anywhere, promote it. Just when you are getting tired of hearing about it, that is when other people are actually paying attention. So for me, it was always kind of the bottom of my funnel. If somebody wasn't ready to get into a sales conversation with me just yet, I would absolutely send them to my Facebook group, because I knew that was a place where they could come get to know me, watch my content, see my videos, learn a little bit more about me, and start to build a relationship. So you want to promote, and make consistent invitations. Make it a goal to invite at least 10 people to your Facebook group every single day. If you want to know how to make invitations without being spammy and weird, go check out the YouTube video about outreach and direct messages, but it's the exact same concept, right? We're going to build relationships. As soon as we know that somebody is a great fit for your community, you invite them into that community, right? So we need to promote, invite. That's how we do it. There is no secret sauce. There is no magic bullet. Just making sure that it's something that you're talking about all of the time, and people know it's a really fantastic place to hang out, get to know you, and get huge value, right? How do we provide value? So for me, inside of my Facebook group, I am constantly putting out content that you can't get elsewhere. It's not content that goes out to my email group, my email list. It's not content that you find on Instagram. It's not even content that you find here on YouTube. My very best content is inside of that group. Why? Because I want people inside of that group. I want you there. I want to build a relationship with you there. I want somebody to come into that group, hit the videos tab, and binge all of the videos, literally almost 2 years worth of videos of me showing up and giving and serving. So for me, I keep my very best stuff inside of that community, and I used all my other tools and resources to drive people into that. So what are some ways you can provide value? It's written content, how-to how-to content, live video content. I love live video. I think it's the greatest tool ever for your business, but it's specifically powerful inside of your Facebook group because it's your group. You're the leader. They expect to see from you. So use all of the content. If you have a YouTube channel, if you have a podcast, if you're putting out content somewhere else, make sure you're sharing that inside of that group because that group are your people and we want them to get to know you. So that is how we create raving fans. We create raving fans through service. We create raving fans by solving problems. We create raving fans by providing value. So how can you serve? How can you solve problems? And how can you provide value? This goes back to my very original YouTube video about there's only 3 types of content you need to create until you hit 100K in your business. I feel the same way about your Facebook group, right? The first type of content, how do we create raving fans, is we teach them something, how to content, right? Value content, all of the secret sauce, the secrets of the trade inside of your business. You want to pour that into that group. If you're a member of my community, you know there's nothing I hold back, right? I teach you guys everything that I know. I come to you as often live as often as I can to really serve. That is a great way. And we have people refer people into my community all of the time that have never bought anything from me, have never commented on anything, have never liked anything, but they are there and they constantly say, hey, you have to get into this group. It's so good. There's so many resources available in that group. So that's a really awesome way to do it. There is also your educational content, right? Educate people about your industry. I'm a sales coach. There isn't a sales coach on every corner, but there is. So I have to educate. What is a sales coach and how is a sales coach different than a marketing coach and a business coach and a mindset coach? And why would somebody want to do business with a sales coach? And what are the assets to having access to a Facebook group? I share all of that inside of my community. And then finally, there's the connection content, right? I show up like a real person. I show up when I don't feel like it. I show up when I don't feel good. I showed up when I was pregnant. Show up, show up, show up, show up. That's how people get to know you. I tell stories about my kids. I tell stories about my family. I tell stories about my faith, really letting people in behind the curtain, right? That's that Facebook group. You're part of a community and we have relationships with people that we are in community. And as the leader of that community, people want to know, who are you? Not what do you know? Because what do we know is important, but who are you as a human? That's super, super important to your people. And they're definitely going to want to know those things before they give you their money, right? So here is the final piece of this, guys, is growing a Facebook group is a labor of love. It involves patience. When you start growing your group, you're going to start showing up. You're going to be really excited. You're going to be putting out all the content. You're going to be connecting with your people and providing all of this value. And you're going to hear crickets, okay? I'm going to tell you that now. You're going to hear crickets at the beginning. I need you to keep going. The biggest reason that most people's Facebook groups bottom out at around 350 people is because the owner, the leader of the group stops showing up because they feel like no one is listening. Okay, I need to encourage you to keep going. I will tell you, inside my Facebook community, we had to get to about 500 people before I felt like people were finally talking back to me. I was showing up and talking to myself for probably a solid 6 months. I did my weekly lives by myself. The content wasn't getting a ton of likes. It wasn't getting a lot of action. I actually wasn't even getting a lot of clients outside of my Facebook group at first, right? I really, really wasn't. When it started to make money for me, though, finally, is when I kept showing up. I kept showing up even though nobody was liking, nobody was commenting, nobody was buying. It didn't matter. I kept showing up and serving because the more I showed up and served, the more that I talked to my community, the more that I served them, the more that they were willing to come back and invest in me. So that is the biggest piece of all of this. If you are not willing to talk to yourself, if you're not willing for there to be crickets, if engagement is important to you, that maybe a Facebook group isn't huge, isn't a big part of your strategy. But if you are okay with the idea of this is a labor of love, but this labor of love could generate hundreds of thousands of dollars for my business, then you have to show up and you have to be patient, okay? We create raving fans by serving, by connecting, by providing value, and we cannot do that overnight. You don't get to provide value for 10 days and then start collecting money out of it, okay? That is my message for you about Facebook groups and how to grow one and to create raving fans. I'm going to give you one final thought. Who is good for, when should I have a Facebook group? What sort of business would succeed with a Facebook group? And I honestly think that any kind of service-based business can have a ton of success with a Facebook group. I think that you can have success with a Facebook group as a coach. I think you can have success as a social media manager, as a Pinterest strategist, as a digital marketer, as a health coach, as a life coach. Doesn't matter. Anybody that has an opportunity to serve and connect and teach people something new will have a ton of value with a Facebook group. I get this a lot. Well, I'm a done for you service provider. Can I still have a Facebook group? And the answer is yes, of course you can and you should. If your goal is eventually to get into strategy and to get into more hands-on and not so much one-to-one work, but one-to-many group work. So if you're thinking about eventually one-to-many work, strategy, courses, programs, things along those lines, a Facebook group is perfect for you, even if right now you are a done for you service provider. So that's my bonus thought for you. Please come hang out in my my Facebook group. It is my favorite place, and you will see an example of how to create an audience of raving fans. It is the Ambitious Women Entrepreneurs Mastering Sales Skills community. You can follow us on Instagram at Uncensored Sales. And if you have not yet, download our free checklist on how to get clients. I walk you through my entire system. So download that. It's a great PDF. It's going to walk you through from lead generation to closed, and we will see you in the next video.